So I just got back from the grocery store. I picked up a couple more coconuts. These things are about $5 each, and you can see they are just the nuts. There's no husks on these things. Now remember how coconuts have a little face, like 2 eyes and a little mouth? That bottom hole is the softest of all 3 holes, and you might be surprised to know that if you just take something like a stick or a twig, you can just work it around in that mouth and burrow out a hole that goes right to the center of the nut, so you can pour the water out. It's actually really surprising just how easy it is to push a hole right through the mouth. I mean, that just glides in like nothing. But if you were to try the same thing to the eyes, you're gonna notice they have a lot more resistance. Now, if you don't have a stick, you can always use just a pair of scissors as well. Just poke it in and twist it around, and that's just gonna help open up that mouth a little bit better. And that should make your hole big enough that you can tip this thing over and pour out all your coconut water without losing a drop. If you still want to get to the meat inside, you can still crack these things in half and have yourself a meal. Or if you want to leave them in this condition, you can fill these up with fresh water, stop off the hole, and you've got yourself a little improvised water canteen. Or you could fill it up with black powder, stick in a fuse, and you get yourself a coconut bomb like Swiss Family Robinson. That's something I've always wanted to try. I picked up another coconut just to show you again how easy that really is. Now if we take our stick, even a blunt end of the stick, and just push it in there, we can just carve it around to where it makes a hole straight through the coconut. You can see it's just bursting to come out there. That is really good stuff. You remember this stuff? This is the rope that I made in a previous video out of coconut husk as well. But rope's not just good for tying together rafts or stringing up clotheslines, you can also use it as an improvised wick, which means we can probably make ourselves a coconut candle. So here's the idea. If you took another coconut and shredded up all the meat, you could actually extract all the coconut milk. And out of the coconut milk, you could extract yourself coconut oil. And this stuff is gonna be the fuel for our coconut candle. So we got our fuel, we got our candle, we've got our wick. All we have to do now is put them all together. Cut off a length of your coconut husk rope and simply wrap it around your fingers to make yourself a nice little loop like this. When you set this on the table, you now have a place for the base of your coconut to sit so that your coconut stands upright without rolling all over the place. Now what we're gonna do is take some of our coconut oil and fill up our coconut, then take the rest of our rope and push it down inside to act as a wick. And I'm really curious to see whether or not this is actually gonna work. All right, that's had a couple of minutes to soak. Let's light it off. Now to light these wicks, you're just gonna need to hold a flame on them for about 20 to 30 seconds, just enough to heat up the oil to the point where it's self-sustaining. We have ignition. I think we've just created ourselves a coconut candle. Now what should be happening is as the flame heats up the oil, it should start wicking up more oil from underneath. So rather than burning the wick and completely consuming it, it'll just start burning off the oil vapors and create a nice little candle for us. If you want a bigger flame, tilt your coconut over to about 45 degrees. This will make it so the oil can flow a little bit more freely and your flame is going to grow exponentially. It actually smells really nice. If you were to take some of this stuff and wrap it around a stick and soak it in coconut oil, you could probably make yourself a torch as well. So with a little coconut oil, some homemade coconut husk rope, and some coconuts, we just made ourselves some cool little coconut candles. And remember guys, you go 90%, she goes 10. Thanks so much for joining me for this experiment. I'll be looking for you in the next video. Talk to you then. Looks like our little coconut guy is doing something he probably shouldn't.